Sinchi, Shilchuk, and Laios, or as you know them, Sunline Show, Casey Mangillo, and Damian Haas. Alright. Oh yeah, go ahead with that.
I can't believe it either.
Wow, this is crazy. Alright, so how are we doing? How's Momocon going for y'all so far?
Good.
Oh, us?
Yeah!
I did that! Awesome. Met a lot of really awesome people. Played a little live D&D. Doing this. Thank you for being here. My goodness.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Alright, so first up, you see all right, Casey? Alright, so the first thing I have to ask is how many times did y'all leave the booth just absolutely starving?
Every time.
Every time.
Every single time, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Out of all the meals in the show, was there one that you were just like, I need this in real life?
Basilisk.
Ooh.
Give me the basilisk.
I went to the cafe in Osaka where they had their version of that. It was pretty
Whoa.
good. Yeah.
You have a
Real basilisk too.
Spendy.
It was good. For me, the red dragon. I mean, it sounds basic, but the red dragon barbecue looked really good.
It did.
That was the one where me and Lucian and the engineer John were just like salivating. Yeah.
Well, they're like, they made a steak and a pizza, so it's like, okay, like, someone's gonna want
They
that.
did.
Yeah.
They make the weirdest things look so good.
Yeah.
They did. And I'm about to do it too. The Kelpie barbecue. Because look, I love seafood. Seafood is like my top tier food. And then I have had horse in Japan before, and it was like incredibly delicious.
Yeah, it's good.
Sorry, like I know that's weird for some people. They're just long cows. So if you're vegetarian, I get it. But everyone else, I'm like, it's kind of. So seafood plus that, I'm like, I'm gonna try that flavor.
Alright, out of all the floors, because this dungeon keeps just going, and there's so many different environments that this dungeon has. If you were to be stuck in one of the levels, where would you want to be stuck at, or do you think that you have the best chance of survival? Either one.
The one closest to the exit.
You truly are a chill trip, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'll pick the one with the.
Panel, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to pick locks.
I'll pick the one with the orcs. I feel like I would just want to hang out with the orcs all day.
Yeah.
Like, it was super chill. So that's my choice.
Question, is it like, are we talking about like needing to get the food from there too, or is it just environment?
Okay, Laios.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask some clarifying questions, it's gonna come up.
I'll say either or. If it's just like I love the environment, or if you're like,
Okay.
this food is here. So whichever one's more important to you.
If you're just talking this environment, I think the second floor is awesome, where it's like very jungly and stuff. Because I hate humidity, but I love plants, and so like the treetop bridge environment, hanging out in the like hollow of a tree. That's the only nature I can personally do, and I would love that. But food-wise, that floor is like, all right. Hey, it's got basilisk, but
Yeah.
Win some, lose some.
that's true.
Yeah, and there is so much within this show, and like we get to see a lot, but do y'all have any headcanons that you just believe in, or that like you take into the recording booth with you?
Headcanon about anything?
It can be about anything, it could be Senshi or whatever.
Do you guys have an answer?
Headcanon about anything in the show?
Yeah, what about your character?
Chill Chuck probably really doesn't want to eat a lot of the things that he has to eat.
That's a crazy theory.
So when I would say that to some of my friends, I go, no, actually he's okay with that. I go, it's not even, he's watching the same show, it's like, I worked on it.
You quote me the book I wrote.
Exactly, you're reading this back to me. Did it sound like I enjoyed it? I How about were you not paying attention when I said there's no way I'm going to eat that thing? But hey, you do you.
Safe for work or not safe for work?
So I think the audience
Are we working right now?
I just think, it's almost kind of canon, because some shots of Senshi, they just have some information, so it's not even a headcanon, it's just, there's canon and information about Senshi, that's all I'll say.
I do actually have one.
Yeah, what's up?
I read the manga like in its in full as soon as I could, and I love the little bits at the end because they just sort of tell you about what life is like when you're not actively dealing with. Like if you read the manga, there's always like 1 or 2 pages where it's like, oh, it's a little moment between people. So there's this bit, midway through when they're fighting the ghosts, where I think it's Chilchuck being like, hey, there's ghosts, like check it out. And Lyle's just like, I'm not really interested in ghosts. And the way it was like
Blew my mind.
I
was like, what are you talking about?
exactly. And I think the original intent was just sort of like, oh, that's just not my thing. Like it is what it is. But if you continue reading on in the manga, and they've gotten to it in the anime, it's as a kid he gets his absolute crap rocked by a ghost. And so I was like, instead of just saying it like, no thank you, can I please be like, I don't really mess with ghosts. So my headcanon is doesn't mess with ghosts because it's like just a childhood moment of like, you remember this forever.
That's also just canon.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So no, I don't.
Great, so glad.
I don't think Chilchuck wants to eat that food.
Okay, I remember at Momocon last year, someone, you had talked a little bit about the casting process for the show, but I was wondering if you all could share your own tidbits about what the beginning stages were and what that casting process was like for y'all.
Yeah, sure. I guess I auditioned for it. I received the sides for Senshi. When I heard the show was being made, I immediately texted my manager, get me these goddamn audition sites, I swear. Because, as you guys know, sometimes you just miss out on stuff, right? All the time. So that was one where I was like, I don't care how you do
You're like,
it.
I'm not missing
I've been a fan of the manga since the beginning, since 2014 or whatever. So
OG.
for me, I'm like, okay, they're making a show of this. Get me that audition right now. And I'm like, I don't care who it is. And then they sent me Senshi, I'm like, got it. And then I'm like, I feel pretty good about it.
Did they just send you?
Just Senshi.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it requested or was it like?
I forget if it was, I don't remember, but they didn't send me Lyles or anything like that. They just sent me Senshi. And I was like, yeah, I think I got it. And I felt pretty good about it.
I think you did too.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, that was my sort of process, was just begging my manager to get me the damn sides and then audition.
And you got it?
Yeah.
Good enough.
How do you guys?
I got the email and I'm like, what the hell is delicious in Dungeon? I don't know, it's probably some weird slice of life thing. We do so many shows that we work really, really hard on for long periods of time with names that are just like, okay. And I'm like, this is probably one of them. I'm like, whatever, I probably won't book it, but if I do, no one will see it. Because it always happens. Right? You worked on something for so long.
Right.
I don't know, maybe I'll do it. So I'm like, all right, because it was requested, and I'm like, I guess I'll do it. So I did it, thinking, it's okay. I guess I could probably do better, but we'll see, whatever. And then I got a notification, probably a week later, being like, congrats, you've been passed. So I'm like, oh wait, cool, that's that thing that I thought was slice of lifey that I bet no one's gonna watch.
Yeah, nobody saw it. Yeah.
Hey,
Y'all have to check it out. It's so good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
it's pretty good. So then I Googled and went, whoops. I was not familiar with your game. And I was like, oh, shoot, is this big? And I'm not like to tell anyone about it yet, but one of my friends was like, yeah, so we're doing this anime called Delicious Dungeon Meshi, so if you get an audition for a character called Chilchuck, and I'm like, get the heck out of here. Yeah, I'll keep my eyes open for it. I'll keep my ears open for it. So I booked it, and then once it premiered, I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Dang, yeah.
Yeah, I got the audition from my agent. It was, sometimes you get auditions that are labeled as like ASAP, where they're like, hey, very quick turnaround. But like Casey's, it was requested, so that just means, it just means like, it's not going out, it's going out to a lot of people, but not just as much as normal. It's like you're on a shorter list. So I was like, okay, I gotta do this quick. And I did a bunch of different takes, and I knew that this character, like from listening to the Japanese recording of it, and also just the description that they gave, it was like, they want it very natural, very chill, and I kept trying to do it more and more natural, and I listened back to my takes, I like recorded way too much footage of myself like doing it, and I was like, oh, these all sound the same, but I feel the best about these couple, like I feel good about it, and I step out of my booth, and I'm like, I need to do one more, just like, the most like absolutely chill possible, talking about all this.
Were they all very different takes? Like types of reads?
In my brain, yes. And then when I listened back, I was like so stuck in a rut, and I was like, ah. So I go back in and I do one more take, fully, just like natural, chill as possible. Felt good about it. Sent in 3 different takes, and I was told later that extra take that I went back to do was the reason they cast me.
Must have
I'm like, thanks.
must have been just the sweet spot.
Yeah, it just like the ghost of me from the future, just like, get back in the booth! And it's like, no, we're gonna screw up real bad. So, yeah, and like you I keep everything secret until it's time, but I had a few friends that were like huge fans of the manga that were just like, I can't believe it, and people were reaching out, and it was really special, so yeah.
Did it also catch you by surprise how popular it was? Were you?
Yes, a freaking.
For gaming, were you familiar with it?
I was like really pleasantly surprised, and I think I kind of got it. I was like, oh, it's a known thing, cool, but I didn't really land. And even then, there was still the fear of like, you don't want to get your hopes up too much for stuff. So like it's an extremely popular manga. That could mean sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not interested in the anime adaptation. I have my own, headcanon for how people sound when I read it in my brain. So I didn't really expect anything, and then I was honestly floored at the reaction. But darn it, we worked hard, and I'm glad it got some attention, because I think we deserve it.
I'd say it did.
Kicked butt. We are the best.
It's alright.
So medium good.
So since you did a lot of takes, and you were like kind of unsure a little bit, like, oh, I hope this is right. And I just pretty much did one. And was like, how many did you do one?
Wow, look at you. One take wonder over here.
My job,
My mic was up for half of it.
But did you do a bunch of takes? Did you voice?
For me, usually with auditions, I tend to go with my gut on the first one. But because this one was so precious to me, I'm sure I did maybe 3. Wow. But usually after the third, I'm like, okay, because it's a common thing where it's like you do so many and it's diminishing returns.
Yes.
Yeah, where it's like you're just kind of you're circling back to what you were doing, right?
And you think you're getting better at it, because I used to do that, and I just stop, because you're like, it's getting better, I think, and then you step away for like, I don't know, a couple hours, and you go back to it going, the first one was good, and then the rest got crappier.
Right. Although in your case, you thought that the last one was the one where
the last one was best because I came back to it, but I also think that it was important to me too. Usually I limit myself to like 3 takes at most,
sure.
But I would usually end up going with the first take because it was requested. I was like, oh, I could really do this. Like, you've got a chance for anything, but it felt like more important.
The odds were better.
Yeah. I think also like by the end of the take, what usually happens is I'm like, oh, those last couple lines felt really good. I think I'm like warmed up. I think I'm in that space. Let me get another take just in case. Just
when that clicks and you go, oh, maybe I should take it from the top.
And then I'm in a feedback loop with myself. And then 20 minutes go by and I'm sweating in my booth and I can't remember what the period is.
Yeah, I think with this one it was so, I was like, God, I want this so bad. I think I did go back and do it a couple times. But I think they were pretty similar. I think my gut, I was just doing the voice how I always heard the character in my head. And so I just kind of went with that.
So you always kind of had that in your head, like something like that, and then you kind of played with it from there.
I never thought that I would ever get to voice Senshi. But when I read stuff like manga, I do imagine voices like what they sound like in my head.
Right.
And so I just kind of was like, I guess I'll just do that, and maybe that will match with what they want me not. Fortunately, it worked out. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I know y'all talked about your challenges with the casting process, but what was an unexpected hurdle while you were in the booth?
I had the easiest job because I had no lip flaps. These suckers had to match to lip flaps. I had a beard covering my face the whole time.
Honestly, because it's so well animated, that does kind of suck sometimes. Because a lot of anime, they animate the mouths going up, 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 up. But with Dungeon, a lot of them it's like it's very E-A-O, you know what I mean? Like it's very like, oh, they're ending with a O or a E sound, so you have to adapt it to that.
Yeah, sounds rough.
It's a little bit tighter. One day we're gonna shave that beard. And you will suffer like the rest of us.
I had to voice young Senshi. I was like, oh, ew. I had to mask lip flaps? Ew.
I
Gross.
didn't sign up for this.
Yeah. Anyway, as you were saying.
But yeah, no, it just made it a little trickier because it was we'd play something back and they go, and I'm so like perfectionist. And we'd play something back and Lucian would be like, oh, it was good. Next line, I go, nope, hold on. Because we'd play it back and I go, it's just not the exact sound. He's like, and most, like 99.9% of people wouldn't notice or probably care, but I'm like, no, we gotta redo it.
Gotcha.
It's gotta be perfect.
How about you, Danny?
No challenges. No, I'm kidding. No, honestly, it was more of a see how it feels. It was more of a logistical thing for me because I was working on like 2 or 3 other projects at the same time. Like it was, for whatever reason, at the start of that year, it was just like, and all of the work. And I was like, oh my God, thank you for that. But it was a little bit difficult finding time, but also some of those other roles were a little vocally stressful. So I was going back and forth between like, you know, this character, a character for another anime with a more gentle voice, and then like a very screamy video game thing, and you know, maintaining vocal health during that time was really difficult. So there were a few sessions for Delicious in Dungeon where I was like, oh buddy, I really hope I don't sound off for this. And they'd have to take like 1 or 2 extra breaks to be like, let's rest your voice, get some tea, and yeah. But in terms of like character and mouth flaps, no problems at all. So easy, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Thank goodness they have the tea and everything. Every time, because I'm so sorry, I scream a lot. So, and everything I'm hired for, I scream a lot. So I'm just hired to scream.
You're good at it.
Oh, thank you.
Meanwhile, for me, because I didn't have lip flaps and had the luxury of that, I would get to do like 10 lines in a row without stopping, and we started calling it a senshi tenshi. That was like, Lucian was like, okay, because it's like, you know, he does the cooking stuff, and it's like 15 lines, go. I don't have to match any flaps. It was great.
They told me about that because I also prefer, like, as much as the director will let me, I'll be like, can I do 6 lines in a row?
Yeah.
I'll just do as many, and I'm like, can I just do a run? And they're just like, yeah, I'll do it until we stop. And usually we just get the whole thing done, and we'll go back up and pick up, but it just sounds better to me if I'm just doing a run of it.
Same.
Yeah.
Sometimes just especially if it's like, if Chill Chuck has like a lot of lines or something, like one after the next, talking to someone, like one scene, not to spoil anything, but just like, you know, we gotta go back to the future, Marty.
Right. Yeah.
That one, and explaining why, and it's kind of pouring his heart out. Like, we can't really do that one bit by bit.
You want the flow to feel.
Yeah, it's gotta be a flow, and
Right.
don't do it all at once, you lose the flow. It just kind of is like, I'm very aware that that actor is reading lines.
I
It's
see.
really hard to kind of, you know, I mean, why do it when it's like, okay, we're gonna punch you in for that one line. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, just do the whole thing.
So I know y'all have talked about how you like the fan reception early on with like the manga and like the expectations of that. But since the show is released, how has fan reception been to either the show or like to your character specifically?
I mean, it's been amazing. Like, this is probably, I know a lot of actors don't like to say their favorite characters. This is my favorite character. I'll just say it. Like, I think for me, like, Senshi's just gotten to do so much, and he's so fun, and I don't know. it's a really, really special experience for me. So I've been really, and I'm already a fan of it too. So like, I'm just glad that it's getting an anime and that it is good. Because sometimes you're right, a manga comes out and then an anime is like a disappointment. But this one absolutely delivered for me. So it's been great.
Yeah, the fan reception has been awesome, and I've been extremely grateful for that. The thing that I think is
I mean,
most
obviously.
well, yes,
Figure yourself out.
I think the thing that's been most impactful for me is how many people come up to me at cons like this and say like, Laios they see a lot of themselves in Laios, because I do as well, and you know, again, without spoiling anything, but the important conversation between Laios and Shuro, that for so many people really hit home. And it did for me too. Like when I read the manga, like more than any other intense moment, anything else, I was like, this to me, this conversation is most meaningful. And you know, I've had a lot of people come up and say like, I agree with Laios and Shuro was awful for that. And I was, you know, I always make sure to say like, well, Shuro's also not wrong. Neither of them is wrong. Both of them are types of people that are agreeing about, you know, disagreeing about something that is entirely opinion based on how someone should act and function, and it's such a beautiful way of breaking that down. Sorry, I'm going like full into this, but it's been so special to have people like look at Laios and say like, oh, there I am, in the same way that I look at Laios and say, oh, there I am. And it's really cool. Thank you.
I said thank you, and that was beautiful.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And sorry, did you want to add on to it, or Casey?
I think it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, for something with you know, a name, I'm like, what is delicious in Dungeon? I don't know. And I was gonna watch it, whatever. It was fun. And then, I mean, it was like, oh, this is
This is good. Yeah.
And my friends are like, no, you don't understand. You're in something special. I'm like, okay, maybe I should actually sit down and watch this one. So I did, and it was like, damn, it's really good.
I think one of my favorite things I'll hear, and I'm sure you guys have heard this as well many times, is people will come up and be like, my family member, my so-and-so significant other, they never watch anime ever. And then they love Delicious in Dungeon.
I got that like 5 times today alone.
Yeah, at this con, someone came up and was like, my dad is like in his 70s, he's never watched anime, and he doesn't know the other characters' names, but he's like, I love Senshi. And I was like, I love just a 75-year-old guy, just like, I love that dwarf cook guy. And watching anime, like I love just, I want more people to watch anime. I'm a big weeb, so I'm just like happy to hear that stuff for sure. Yeah.
And Damien, your point that you had made actually segues really nicely into my next question, which is what scene resonated the most with you from the anime?
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean that was for me the scene. You know, I think it does for a lot of people, and I think I got really choked up when recording it. I got choked up when watching it back. I got choked up when reading it in the first place, and I had to take a break after reading the manga, like getting to that point, because I was like, ooh, I'm gonna work through this with the therapist, and it's gonna be great. But going beyond that, just because I pretty much already answered that, I think there's this really cute scene in the back couple pages of one of the manga volumes where it's Laios immediately after Fallon is born, so he's a little toddler, and so it's his father holding it up, being like, well, there you go, it's your sister Fallon, and Laios doesn't say anything and runs away, and the father and mother are like, nah, give him some time, like I guess, maybe he'll get used to the idea, but he immediately goes and tells all the animals on the family house, like whispering to the cats, like, guess what, I've got a sister, and the chicken's like, I'm a big brother now, and the guy's like, my name is Fallon, that to me is like, that's how you get to know a character. He's the kid who can't wait to tell all the animals that he's got a little sister.
That was the sweetest scene. I love that scene so much.
Yeah. And I'm gonna hang out with my sister tonight. It's cool. IRL. So that resonated with me.
How about you kids?
Right. Shall I talk moments that resonated with me?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna skip the lock picking part. I do have to teach you guys how to do that on a panel someday.
I already know, Casey.
Did I teach you and I have amnesia?
No. We've talked about this 3 times.
Where am I? Who are you?
Trinidad, and you from the future.
Handsome dude. Alright. Yeah, no, I mean, Chilchak and I are kind of alike. And someone says, well, it's just like,
Kind of alike.
just like, every time, you're just Chilchak.
Yeah.
Yeah, my ears are a little smaller, but yeah. But, very much, especially nowadays, I'm just kind of like, let me just get to my job and let me just make sure I do it right, and I don't want to, screw around or mess it up. And it's just like, you focus on what you do and let me do my job. And I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. So I'm like, ooh, I'm getting called out a little bit in the show.
For me, the scene I was very looking forward to recording it was the Griffin episode. For me, I knew about it, of course. I knew what it was going to be about and what it would require. And so that was the one that really resonated with me. I truly was like, I was just raring to go. I was like, okay, this is some of the really juicy Senshi stuff. And then immediately after getting to do the changeling stuff with Elf Senshi, it was just like, this is the show, the gift that keeps on giving. Lucian, our director, was just like, just make these your demo reel. Because it's like Senshi, young Senshi, Elf Senshi. Like, it was just like
Senshi, young Senshi, Elf Senshi.
like I just got to, it was those 2 episodes were really, really fun to do. And like it got to be really emotional and really funny. That's just what I love about the show. It just gets to be all of that.
All right, thank you. And I'm going to ask one more question, but real quick, we are going to open up the floor to audience Q&A. But real quick, if my friend Nancy could raise her hand. Everybody say hi to Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
She'll be helping you over at the mic. Just ask her your question first, and then she'll direct you over to the mic. Please be kind. All right, but the last question that I have for y'all is, if there's one thing that audiences could take away from this show, what would it be?
Ooh, one thing that we can take away from the show? I have one. I think it's just found family can be really, really important.
I was trying to think of
For me, it's just, that's what this show is about, right? It's a bunch of weirdos who come together and just become a family. Right?
just like us.
Yeah.
Can I borrow $300 for something I need, family?
No.
Yeah, found family for sure. And also if you find something cool and someone's really encouraging you not to eat it, you probably still should. Legally, I'm kidding.
All right, let's bring in our first audience Q&A.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Well, first of all, I gotta thank you guys because of the